I've generally been down on the whole 2025 release year so far, but I did see a couple movies this week that got me excited. The first of those was called If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. This might sound like this title of some kind of weird, whimsical indie comedy. It is not. The Letterboxd genre tags say drama/comedy, but somehow that just doesn't feel like it paints the right picture. This film is about Linda, who is attempting to navigate her child's illness, her absent husband, a missing person, and an increasingly hostile relationship with her therapist. This is a ball of stress movie, to me in the veins of something like Uncut Gems or Full Time. It's a movie where the protagonist is set in a difficult situation and it just gets worse and worse throughout the film. It feels to me like a cousin of horror, where it produces this feeling of, it's difficult to look at the screen, at least for me. The same fear of what's about to come, but it's just a fear of like ordinary people and events, instead of something extraordinary. And it also just gets that same adrenaline rush, I think, that comes from horror frequently. The drama and the comedy tags are accurate, but the comedy is brutal at times. Like, it's comedy that's just squeezed out of pure trepidation and discomfort. One of my main discomfort responses is laughter. So I had a number of scenes where I was basically laughing out of dread, seeing the markers for what was about to come, and knowing that I'd have to just grind through it. The film contains a meditation on and a portrait of motherhood, a compilation of worst case scenarios, a series of events that's just unreal enough to feel like this world of Linda's is uncertain. It's hard to tell sometimes if she's in the right or if the people around her are, which is good, of course, because life is rarely so simple. There's like an uncertainty to the blame game and to what she should be doing, which is actually a key thematic element of the film, what she should be doing or whether she knows what she should be doing. A secondary theme I was pondering was the kind of lack of community we see and the importance of community. In the film, Linda basically has no one to rely on. It's just her responsible for raising her child and work and everything associated with those, finding time for herself even. And of course, this is tragic because it's nigh impossible to do parenting without some help. It's hard to do completely solo. You'll be stretched to your limits and well past them repeatedly. And if you don't have someone to give you a break, just like a little chance to reset just a little bit, having a community to just help offload a little bit of the extra pressure can do so much. And this is even going beyond parenthood. Like, of course, the film is concerned with motherhood and the community, the lack of community there. But I mean, I'm sure plenty of people can recognize the trials of life that pile up and the way that if you don't have other people to come alongside you, even if it's just to hear complaints, commiserate, to be able to take just a little thing off your plate here and there, life gets really hard by yourself, doubly so if you're responsible for another life alongside you. So I think that idea is very relevant to modern society, where a lot of people feel a lack of community and even turn to things like alt-right or some other dangerous ideas just to try to find some kind of community and commiseration. The film isn't groundbreaking technically, but it does use its style well to accentuate its ideas of discomfort. It uses some unnervingly close shots, is often very tight on people, causing some disconcerting feeling conversations, and also some great unsettling sonic moments, like one with the tube is awesome. Rose Byrne is awesome as the lead as well. That's another great selling point. I hope she gets some Academy Awards attention. This may not end up in my top 10 list at the very end of the cycle, but for now it is. It will be for at least a couple more months. Highly recommend this one. And then the other was The Mastermind. An unemployed carpenter turned amateur art thief plans his first big heist. When things go haywire, his life unravels. This one will be a tougher sell. I know not everyone is going to enjoy this style of movie, and I'm not exactly sure how to sell it in a way that sounds super appealing, I guess. This is only my second of Kelly's movies, but I've greatly enjoyed both this and Meek's Cutoff, so certainly it seems her work is up my alley. We'll certainly need to watch more. You should know going into the film that it is minimal and it's slow. There are not a ton of, things, concrete events that happen. Main selling point number one for me, music is awesome. It's clearly inspired by classic heist music, maybe even spy music, and you'll recognize the feeling once you're in the movie. It's great. It's really well done. I enjoy the music just in isolation. I hope it goes up on Spotify soon, because I would like to listen to it to figure out if this or One Battle After Another is my favorite score for the year. There's music. There's also the selling point that this is a deeply sarcastic and dryly sarcastic and ironic movie. This is a heist movie aimed at taking all of the glamour out of the heist. It is sort of an antithesis to an Ocean's movie in some ways, where in an Ocean's movie, the planning is grand and fun, fast-paced, witty. The heist is exciting, exhilarating, and uncertain. Characters are fun, quirky, lots of interplay, all these things like that. But this film has a sarcastic and ironic presentation of this sort of event. It starts early, where we have the aforementioned excellent music playing heist music music over the opening credits, which is just kind of people sitting around. Nothing really is happening. And we have heist music going on. We have heist music playing over top of things like casual walks well into the movie. Heist music almost taunting these very flatly, unceremoniously presented segments of the heist, which might normally be the glamour shots. But you know what? This is not a glamour heist. This is a simple failed heist. And the movie highlights that visually. And then I think the music does a great job of just accentuating the way the movie is presenting it as kind of like a failure and a deconstruction of what we might expect this awesome art heist to be. I know this won't be everyone's sense of humor, but I just thought it was endlessly amusing how like this Mastermind, as so sarcastically titled, he's just some guy who's just not that good and doesn't really know what he's doing. It's not also to the point of being slapstick. Like, it is dryly presented. It's not trying to land jokes. It's not slapstick comedy. It is a very dry sense of, oh, this guy just isn't that good. This guy is falling short of the expectation of the heist movie. I don't know how to explain it better than that. I just think it's really funny in practice, and I think it's just such a lovely dry sense of humor. Josh O'Connor is quite good in the lead. His character is interesting because he's not terribly available to the audience. There's not a lot of explicit information about him. He doesn't really change or anything through the film. So I could certainly understand criticisms revolving around him and that he doesn't evolve or whatever, character complaints. But I think it doesn't really matter because we know what we need to know. And what we know is that he's basically just a guy. He's just a guy doing a heist. Turns out it's just hard to be good at that. And that's pretty much it. And then it's just a guy going through the fallout of that. I think that's all we needed, because knowing more about him, I don't think goes to serve the movie's main ideas, the things the movie is mainly interested in. Normally I don't speak to endings at all without spoilers. I'll just say fantastic ending. And I don't know if my sales pitch will actually sell many people. You know, like the idea of taking the glamour out of a heist movie, I'm sure does not sound appealing in and of itself. I hope I can communicate some amount of passion for it to convince people to give it a shot, because I think if you understand what you're walking into, it'll make it a lot easier to understand what to look for and what to appreciate about it, hopefully. I like this a lot. I would put it like a smidge above If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I mean, in a similar spot where it might not make the top 10 at the end of the year, but I hope it hangs on. It'll be close.